Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle a really powerful and honestly kind of counterintuitive idea that showing your point is always more effective than arguing it. I mean, think about it. We're all taught to use logic to persuade people with facts, right? But what if that's all wrong? What if the very act of arguing, even when you're 100% right, is actually a trap that makes you lose in the long run? Okay, so to really get why arguing can totally blow up in your face, we've got to start with a concept from ancient history. It's a little something called the Pyrrhic victory, and it basically explains everything. And this quote just nails it. You know that feeling, right? That little jolt of satisfaction when you prove someone wrong? Well, the thing is, it's a total illusion. And it comes with a price tag you don't even see at first. So here's the real cost, the hidden toll. When you win an argument, you've basically just made the other person feel foolish. And that creates resentment. It can poison relationships, kill deals, long after you've forgotten what you were even fighting about. You win the point, but you lose the person. That is a Pyrrhic victory.
All right, so let's see what this looks like when it goes off the rails. I mean, catastrophically wrong. This is a true story from ancient Rome, and it is a brutal lesson in why arguing with a superior can be, well, a fatal mistake. Okay, so picture this. It's 131 BC. We're in the middle of this high-stakes military siege. You've got a Roman consul, a guy with absolute power, and he needs a very specific tool to smash through the city walls. His order is simple and direct. But the expert engineer on the ground, he thinks he knows better. And look, from a purely technical standpoint, he's probably right. But by arguing his point, he's not just questioning an order. He's questioning the consul's intelligence, his authority. Big mistake.
And this is where he makes that classic, fatal mistake. He is so convinced that his logic is just brilliant that it'll be obvious to everyone. He thinks the consul will see the amazing results and just reward him. He's focused on the facts, not the defiance.
Yeah, but here's the brutal reality check. For the consul, this was never about physics. It was about power and respect. That engineer literally argued himself to death. He might have won the technical debate inside his own head, but in the real world, he lost everything. Okay, so that's a pretty clear example of what not to do. Now let's fast forward about 1,600 years and see an absolute master handle the exact same problem, a powerful boss with let's just say, a bad opinion. Seriously, try to imagine this. You've just finished your masterpiece, maybe the greatest sculpture in human history, right? And your boss, the mayor of Florence, walks up, squints, and tells you, the nose is too big. I mean, what do? Arguing would be a disaster. You'd completely offend your patron. And this is where we see Michelangelo's genius at work. He doesn't argue. He doesn't launch into a lecture about the laws of perspective. Nope, he just performs. He creates the illusion that he's making a change. And the result? It illustrates the whole point perfectly. The mayor feels validated, his opinion respected. Meanwhile, Michelangelo gets to keep his perfect statue completely untouched. Nobody is offended, and the goal is achieved through a clever demonstration, not a useless argument. And this isn't just some cute little trick for artists or a warning for ancient engineers. This principle, demonstration over argument, it shows up everywhere. You see it in architecture, you see it in high-stakes global politics. I mean, history is just packed with these kinds of moments. You have the architect Christopher Wren building fake support columns just to make some nervous officials happy. But maybe the most chilling, most powerful example, that comes from the Soviet Union. Wow, this is such a powerful moment. Instead of giving some boring lecture about the dangers of opposing a tyrant, Khrushchev makes the entire audience feel the fear. He demonstrates the paranoia, the terror of that whole era in one single visceral moment. Because nobody dared to speak up. And that silence, that was his proof. It was his entire argument right there. An argument won without a single logical point, just a raw, undeniable demonstration of reality. Now that is power. Okay, so is arguing always a mistake? Well, no, actually. There is one specific time when you should use it. But it's for a very deceptive purpose. It's all about creating a distraction. Right, this is the reversal of the law. If you need a smokescreen, especially if you've been caught in a lie,
A really passionate argument is your best friend. The goal isn't to win the argument. The goal is just to confuse everybody. The legendary con man Victor Lustig was an absolute master of this. So get this, an angry sheriff tracks him down after being sold a totally fake money copying machine. Does Lustig run? No! He pulls the sheriff into this super technical, confusing argument about how the machine must have been operated incorrectly. He argued with so much passion that he completely confused the sheriff and got him to lower his guard. And then he refunds the money with a bunch of counterfeit bills. The argument itself was the weapon that made the rest of the con even possible. So here's the best way to think about it. Any argument is like a seesaw. You push, they push back. You go up, they go down. You're just stuck getting nowhere. The only way to actually win is to just step off the seesaw entirely and let your actions do the talking. And that really leaves us with one last question to take with you. In your work, in your life, where are you stuck on that seesaw? Think about it this week. What's one thing you can prove with a simple, smart action instead of getting sucked into another one of those pointless, draining arguments?